The doctor also places drops containing cocaine in each of the Fuhrer's dark blue eyes in order to give the dictator a daily rush of euphoria. Adolf Hitler does not seem to have been a sickly child, although the reality and the myths of that childhood are vastly different. While he told people that he had struggled up from poverty, in fact, he was born into a middle-class household and never expected that he would have to work for a living, but would live on his family's savings. While he had dreams of being a famous architectural artist, he had not done well enough in school to get into the Academy of Fine Arts in Vienna. This man, who would command thousands with horrible charisma, was shy and usually silent as a child. And so the reality and the myths of the current situation reflect this lifelong dichotomy. Despite recent German setbacks on the battlefield, the wolf still has hope that his plans for global domination will be realized. His greatest goal is the eradication of the Jewish people, with whom he is obsessed. This war can end two ways, he said in January 1942, addressing a mass rally at the Berlin Sportpalast. Either the extermination of the Aryan, term used by the Nazis to mean non-Jewish Caucasians with Nordic features, people, or the disappearance of Jewry from Europe. Hitler fancies himself a military strategist, despite no formal training in field tactics. He takes full credit for the great U.S. General George S. Patton's recent defeat at Fort Driant in occupied France, a long, close-range battle that caused Patton to retreat south to the town of Nancy to regroup his vast Third Army. Hitler is cheered by the news that Nazi scientists are very close to developing a bomb with nuclear capacity, a weapon that would allow him to wipe his enemies off the face of the earth. In addition, he is quite sure that the audacious surprise attack he will unveil to his top commanders in a few short hours will push the Allied armies back across France and will allow Germany to regain control of Europe. And most of all, Adolf Hitler is finally rid of those top generals who have long despised him. SS death squads hunted down each of the men who took part in the July 20 assassination plot. Some were shot immediately, which infuriated Hitler because such a death was far too quick. So on his orders, the others were hanged. A cameraman filmed the events for Hitler's enjoyment. Among those accused of treason was Hitler's favorite general, Field Marshal Erwin Rommel. Just 7 days ago, his house was surrounded by SS soldiers. Although he did not take an active part, Rommel knew of the plot to assassinate Hitler but did not warn him. This made him as guilty as the man who concealed the bomb in a briefcase and carried it into Hitler's conference room. Rommel kept silent because he had grave doubts about Hitler's ability to lead the war effort and favored suing for peace with the Allies rather than continuing a conflict that was destroying all of Germany. Because of his extraordinary service to the Third Reich, Rommel was given the option of swallowing a cyanide pill rather than going through a public trial. The SS troopers drove Rommel away from his home, stopped in a quiet forest, surrounded the car, and handed him the pill. 15 minutes later, the general whom the Allied leaders, Supreme Allied Commander Dwight D. Eisenhower, British Field Marshal Bernard Montgomery, U.S. General George Patton, and U.S. General Omar Bradley respected for his intelligence and military tradecraft and considered their true opponent, is dead. The wolf could have waited until after his new offensive plan was completed to pass judgment on his favorite field marshal. From a tactical perspective, it would have been the smart thing to do. But Adolf Hitler needed his revenge. Nothing, not even winning the war, matters more. Hitler and Blondi finish their walk and re-enter the massive concrete fortress that serves as his home away from Berlin. It is almost time for lunch and the unveiling of his brilliant new campaign. Or, as it will soon become known around the world, the Battle of the Bulge.